Mensa. Friday evening is upon us, and we are probably 14 hours away until the Gameweek 4 deadline. We've had many disappointing moments up until this point. I'm sure I'm not the only manager to feel like this. And it feels a bit like the template that people are busy choosing is not performing as well as some of our favorite YouTubers might have thought. That gave me an idea. We are sitting on probably 10 million players this year in comparison to some of the previous years where there was 3 million, 4 million, 5 million players. And what it seems is that FPL is not catering for the increases in player count when it comes to price rises and price falls. What we've seen, and if you take a look at this week in particular, is the players like Rodrigo have gone up as much as 0.3 in price, which is unprecedented, with some of the other guys going up 0.2 in price. This got me thinking, why not take advantage of the economy of the game rather than just playing it straight from points? So play the wild card early, which I've done, as you'll see in a little bit, and see whether or not you can take advantage of price rises in order to give yourself an advantage of your opponents. Stay tuned and you will see just the effect that it has had wildcarding early before game week 4. Right, taking a look at my team, we're going to see some very interesting picks. And I just want to take you exactly through some of my thought processes as to why I have done what I've done. Probably worth going through the previous week. The previous week was pretty average. I mean, I was exactly on average, 48 final points against an average of 48. Left me nice in the middle between all of the various managers. Weak in defense and had some issues in my team. I'm not convinced about Watkins. I know he has started this game on fire and he's managed to return in every single game week so far. I think it's every single one so far, except the first one, but he got a double-digit return in the second. So averages out to return every week. But Aston Villa is looking absolutely atrocious, and I think Steven Gerrard might even be on the chopping block. Xhaka, I've seen so many of our fancy Premier League content creators talking about the fact that Xhaka might make way for Zinchenko, moving from defense up into that heart of midfield and pulling all of the strings. That's got me thinking Zinchenko is a must-have this season. And I'm sure, like many of you, we need to try and play around with the funds in order to get there. I'm happy with Salah. I'm happy-ish with Haaland. But I'm not sure about these defenders. I'm specifically not sure about the Chelsea defense, even though they've got a favorable fixture coming up. Was very happy to see some points from our boy, from our team, Andreas. Flip, we're looking good, by the way. So he's definitely staying. So going on to my team, we're just going to go straight into it, boys. I pulled the trigger early, and my thought process is thusly. This game of FPL has become so saturated with content creators that it almost feels as if the entire population of the playing community of FPL is following the same template. And I'm like my Mark Southerns. I think that's boring. I think that takes away from the point of the game. What is the point of playing the game if all you're doing is copying your favorite streamer and trying to see whether or not you can gain the rank that way? That's not how I want to play. So I'm going to take a new approach. It's almost like Moneyball. If anybody have seen the Moneyball video, he took baseball and he added it into an economics type strategy, or at least a mindset that said, if we take into account the statistics of the players, potentially we can put a team together that won. They won. Spoiler alert. I'm thinking along the similar lines. We throw this thing on its head and we play FPL a little bit differently. Here's my thinking. We've got team value, and later on in the season, it becomes more important. We've also got a game week 18 free wildcard. Now, it's not being classified as a wildcard, but we're allowed unlimited transfers from game week 18 for the duration of the World Cup. So why not take advantage of building a team, getting that team value up to 103, 103.5, 104 million, so that when you're wildcarding into game week 18, you've got team value beyond anybody else and you can select a team that nobody else can. Point number one. Point number two is this man down here, Rodrigo. We just need to take a look at this boy. This boy has an ICT index 2. So he's second best player in the game according to the ICT index. And he's playing out of position. He's on penalties. The manager loves him. I believe he's captain. He is just the form player to be selecting right now. And the thing that I want to be showing you is if we just turn this, which is not letting me, so I'm just going to press it a couple of times. He's gone up in value from 6.0 to 6.2 at the beginning of Game Week 3, and he's currently on 6.4. That's 2 price rises in a week that we've seen out of Rodrigo, and he's not the only player. So what I'm thinking is that I think that from my perspective, the wildcard decision not being based on panic, but based on chasing team value, to set my team up in such a way that I can take advantage of this team value for when the future decisions happen, should play in my favor. The other thing is that there are 2 other key players, Perisic and Zinchenko, that I just think are going to be unattainable if we wait too long. If we wait too long, we may be in a position where we can't fit them into the team while they're racking up. And if we look at Perisic in the last game, and I'm so sad I didn't bring him in the last game, double-digit haul from 75 minutes. He's on corners. The man is taking corners with his left foot and his right foot. Have you ever heard of such a thing? I don't know. He must be one of the only players in the world that's ever done that. I think I saw the other day, one of the FPL creators asked the question, who else has done this in the Premier League, taking set pieces with both feet? To me, the answer was that Arsenal player, that shorty, Santi Cazorla. He's the only other player that I've ever seen that was able to take free kicks with both feet, but he certainly didn't take every corner in the match. This man takes every corner in the match. If he's not on your side, I don't know what you're doing. Even if he gets benched, he's well worth taking. Lastly, if we go back to my original team, I had Ward and Iverson, and I thought, look, we probably save on 0.5 of value because I could have gone with any of the 4.5 keepers. The problem is he is just not good enough for the Premier League, and Leicester is completely out of form. So we're probably going to see 1-point returns until they replace him, or negative returns based on shipping more than 5 goals, sorry. I think it might happen in the next game. So I just thought, we've got a problem with Watkins. I've got a problem with James. I've got a problem with Xhaka. I've got a problem with Patterson. And I've got a problem with 2 of my keepers. I've got to make a move, and I've got to play the game differently. Going through the rest of the team, Henderson in goal. The reason why I've gone Henderson over Sanchez is simply because this man is a bonus point machine. He literally is racking up the BPI like we don't know. And the major thing from my side is that even if they concede, even if they score 2 goals, he might get away with 4 points because of those save points and DPS. So he might end up with the clean sheet wiped off, but he might end up with 2 save points, 2 bonus points, and he's on the same amount of points as some of the others. The other thing is that there hasn't been a lot of clean sheets in this game. So to me, I need to be chasing the saves. That's the reason why we've chosen Henderson. From the rest of the team, I already had Martinelli, absolutely essential. I put Gross in because I love Brighton's fixtures. If we just take a look, Brighton's fixtures, it's green all the way. I mean, Leicester should be like dark green if there was a thing. So it is just green all the way up to game week 9. I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to have 6 transfers to make up until that point. Plus the fixtures don't turn that nasty. It's a great run until that game week 18 fixture. So Gross, one of the players in my team that I chose. The other thing that I wanted to consider was at some point Darwin Núñez is going to come back. And when Darwin Núñez comes back into our consideration, we might be in a position where the template gets completely thrown on its head. And we need to make a decision as to how to fit him in. How do we fit him in if there's no value? So what I've done is instead of trying to fit in, let's say, another premium into the side, so I could have downgraded Alex, Alexander-Arnold or Cancelo, and I would have been able to fit in a De Bruyne. By the way, guys, if you're not following me on Twitter, you definitely need to, because I still might do this. Downgrade Cancelo or Alexander-Arnold and change Rodrigo into De Bruyne. That could be pretty wild. If you think of that, then it would be a lesser defender with De Bruyne in the middle. I'm tempted, boys. I'm tempted. Also, he's looking good. That may be what I do. So take a look at the Twitter so that you at least can see the team before the beginning of the game week. But anyway, my thinking at the moment is to consider Darwin Núñez to allow him back into the team. And the idea would be to potentially move Tony on. So you downgrade a Rodrigo, maybe downgrade a Gross, and then you've suddenly got Darwin Núñez in your team. That's the idea. As for the rest, I don't see why the player base, casual players probably are selling Alexander-Arnold. People are not understanding how good this man is. He's too good. And he's underpriced. He should never leave your team. He could blank for another 3 game weeks and I still wouldn't sell it. I had a bigger question mark around Cancelo, but Cancelo is such a key part of that Man City team. He's pretty rotation proof as well, so he's got to stay. And then my boys, Zinchenko and Perisic, we've already spoken about. Just to cover the rest of the bench, I've kept Ward. He's 4.0. He's playing. You can't ask for more. If, for whatever reason, the keeper doesn't stay, there's 1 point there instead of 0. We've already spoken about Rodrigo. Williams from Forest is looking on fire. They've spent so much money. I saw that they've blown another 45 million on Gibbs White from Wolves. I think they're a team to be messed with. So he definitely stays. 4.1. He's 4.1 now. Pretty sure. 4.1 now. He's going to be hard to get back into the team. And lastly, Andreas, my boy, FC full of ham. He's just looking too good. He's playing just behind Micho. He's on set pieces. He's creating everything. Everything seems to channel through him. It's just looking good. And that's the team, boys. I really hope you guys have enjoyed my content. This is a new channel. If you guys enjoyed this, please consider giving this a subscribe. We are here to stay. We're going to be producing all kinds of cool content, whether that's football related, some advice around life. It's called Young Millionaires Bible because we're talking all things relevant to a young millionaire. This is really going to be a cool place to stay. But I hope you guys are doing well and good luck for Game Week 4.